The weight of one word. The metro station never slept. Trains arrived and departed like heartbeats, mechanical, indifferent, eternal. Commuters moved in rivers through the corridors, suits and sneakers and shopping bags all blurring together. Everyone carried invisible walls around them, built from deadlines and debt and the quiet exhaustion of modern life. The city had given them everything: speed, convenience, noise, except the desire to look up. Near the bottom of the main escalator, wedged between a vending machine and a concrete pillar, sat a woman named Nora. She had once been a school teacher. For 31 years, she had shaped young minds with patient hands and a voice that could calm the most restless classroom. Parents trusted her with their children. Students returned years later just to tell her she had changed their lives. Teaching was not her job, it was her identity, the axis around which everything else turned. But life does not warn you before it turns. A stroke took her steadiness first. Her hands, which had written thousands of lesson plans, now trembled when she tried to hold a pen. Then came the medical bills, which emptied her savings account one quiet withdrawal at a time. Then her apartment. Her sister offered a couch for 3 months, and Nora took it with gratitude. But 3 months became 4, and 4 became a silent tension that no amount of kindness could hold. By the time she found herself sitting in this metro station, she had stopped being shocked by her own life. Shock, she had learned, is a luxury. It requires energy she no longer had. She was 63 years old. She sat on a folded jacket, her back against the cold pillar, and held a small cardboard sign against her knees. It read simply, "I am deaf. Anything helps." People passed. A few dropped coins without slowing down, the way you toss something into a bin without looking. Most treated her the way we treat warning signs on highways, noticed for half a second, then forgotten before the next curve. Some looked at her with something that resembled pity. Others looked away with something that resembled guilt, but neither feeling was enough to make them stop. To most people moving through that station, Nora was simply part of the scenery, like the vending machine beside her, like the pillar behind her. Then, a girl stopped. She looked about 20, a university student judging by the overstuffed backpack pulling at her shoulders and the dark circles that come from too many late nights and too much coffee. She stood in front of Nora for a moment, not opening her wallet, not saying empty words of comfort. She simply looked at the sign, then looked at Nora's face. Really looked. Then she crouched down. She slid the cardboard gently from Nora's fingers. Nora tensed immediately. That sign was her only voice in this place, her only way of existing in the eyes of strangers. She wanted to pull it back, but something in the girl's expression, careful, focused, almost reverent, made her wait. The girl turned the cardboard over. She pulled a marker from her pencil case, the kind covered in band stickers, and began writing slowly and deliberately on the blank side. When she finished, she set the sign back in Nora's lap, placed one hand briefly over her trembling fingers, and then stood up and disappeared into the current of the crowd. Nora sat very still. For a few minutes, nothing seemed different. The escalator hummed, shoes clicked past, the station breathed its ordinary breath. And then, something shifted. A businessman slowed his pace, then stopped completely. He stood in front of Nora for a long moment, his briefcase hanging at his side, his face doing something complicated. He reached into his jacket and left a folded bill without a word. A young mother paused next, reading the sign twice. She called her daughter over, maybe 7 years old, and pointed. The little girl looked at Nora with wide, serious eyes, then reached into her own small purse and added her coins to the cup. An elderly man sat beside Nora on the floor for a while, not speaking, just present. Someone bought her a coffee from the vending machine and set it beside her carefully, as if it might break. The sounds of the station changed. The sharpness softened. People who passed slowed just enough to read, and reading changed them. You could see it in the way their shoulders dropped a fraction, the way their eyes went quiet. Nora could feel none of this with her ears, but she could feel it everywhere else, in the warmth of the cup against her palms, in the change in the air around her, in the way her chest, which had been hollow for so long, began to fill with something she couldn't name. Not joy exactly, but something older and more necessary, the feeling of being seen. By the time the evening crowd began to thin, Nora sat straighter than she had in months. When the girl returned on her way home, Nora held the sign out toward her and tilted it, her quiet question. The girl smiled. Then, slowly, in imperfect but earnest sign language, clearly learned from a phone screen, probably that same afternoon, she spelled out the words, one letter at a time. Nora read her hands. Her breath caught. A sound rose from somewhere deep in her chest, not quite a laugh, not quite a cry, something that had been sealed shut for a very long time, opening. The sign now read, I taught your children for 31 years. Today, I need your help. Nothing in Nora's life had actually changed. She was still deaf, still without a home, the station was still cold, the night was still coming. But in those 15 words, something had moved inside the people passing through. They no longer saw a problem at the edge of their commute. They saw a person, someone with a history that deserved to exist before it had hardship, someone who had given and given and given, and now quietly needed something back. The girl had not added drama. She had not exaggerated. She had only revealed one true detail, a detail that built a bridge between a stranger's life and your own. We move through this world surrounded by people whose full stories we will never know. We see a surface and make our peace with it, but sometimes a single sentence cracks the surface open. Not because it manipulates us, but because it reminds us that everyone sitting quietly at the edges of our days was once the center of someone else's world. Your words carry that power. The words you choose when you speak to someone struggling, the words you write when you want to be understood, the words you leave out, and the ones you finally say. Choose them the way that girl chose hers, not for drama, not for pity, but for truth, because the right words don't just deliver a message, they return a person to themselves.
Thank you for listening. If this message resonated with you, subscribe for more content to help you build a life of intention and power. And more importantly, go grab that notebook. Your new story starts now.
If this message feels like it hit home, that's no accident. It's your inner voice calling for change. And here's the truth, staying the same won't get you anywhere new, but taking action will. That's exactly why thousands of people just like you have already broken free from living paycheck to paycheck by following a simple, proven blueprint. You don't need special skills, you don't need a second job. What you need is the right system. And it's already helping over 55,000 members build real financial freedom. So, here's your choice. Close this video and go back to business as usual, or click the link below and take your first step towards stability, freedom, and the life you know you're meant to live. The opportunity is here. The question is, are you ready to take it?